So I often get the question, why is it so difficult to undo the mind? Why is it so hard to decondition it? Well, when you look at it, when you observe your mind enough, that you start seeing that it's all the activity, the bundle of thoughts and feelings and beliefs and concepts and ideologies and dogmas and all of that bundle of thoughts, that activity that nearly everyone identify with and say, that's me, all that's me. It's a survival mechanism. It's all in play to preserve itself. So you're undoing a survival mechanism. It's probably why it's so hard. It's a survival mechanism, part of evolution, that it's there. Right? When you start seeing how difficult it is to undo patterns that have been created for however long the mind's been conditioning. If the mind is 25 years old or 35 years old, it's got like 25 to 35 years of patterns. These patterns, all these actions that we're taking that are created, these impressions on the mind. It's like the mind being some big sheet of steel, and an impression. It's like someone just hitting a hammer, a big mallet, and just denting, leaving impressions in this big sheet of steel. And then it's like, oh, why is that so hard to get out? Well, how many times did someone hit that sheet of steel with the sledgehammer or the mallet? Once, might not leave an impression, right? It's only just a little dent, not too hard to get out. Just bang that thing the other direction, no problem. It's like it didn't happen, right? But like thousands, millions of times, it's a big impression, right? It's curving that sheet of steel. It's like a crater in that thing. You got to try it, and now it's getting it out, right? So that's one way to look at it. These impressions that are in the mind, right? Anything that you're like consuming, the mind is consuming, right? And you start seeing that it's like the mind, it's like it's empty. To start, it's kind of empty. Really, it's not, because it comes with a lot of generational memory, right? Memory that's like stored in the body. You might be thinking, oh, what do you mean? Like DNA? Like the fact that you probably have your mom's or your dad's nose and eyes and facial features and skin color, that sort of stuff. That's there. And their like personality and their mannerism, and you might sneeze the same way your dad or mom sneezes, and you start knowing that you kind of think the same way that they do. They're conditioning you as body mind is born and raised in a family. It's being conditioned all the time. You can't get away from it. You can't get away from conditioning. You can change it though. It's always going to be conditioned in some way. Until you start changing those conditions. Oh, well, yeah, right? My parents, they always had whatever it is. Money problems, alcohol problems, anger problems, whatever it is. Insert whatever it is. And then you'll find that you kind of have those same things. It's a condition. It's being passed down. You'll pass it down to your kids, right? Unless you change it, right? A lot of people start saying that, breaking the cycle, this generational trauma that's being passed down. It's like breaking the cycle. You become aware of it. You start watching your mind. You start becoming aware of these patterns, and then you start becoming aware as you're becoming aware of them in your mind. I talked about this in another video. As you watch your mind more, you start seeing that it's actually out there as well, because everything that you're seeing out there is a projection of the mind. You start seeing that, these patterns are in my mind. Where did these patterns come from? Oh crap, my parents, they've got the same patterns, and their parents has the same, and then you start seeing. It's conditioning. So then to decondition or uncondition yourself, you have to start seeing those conditionings, removing the conditioning, right? Changing the pattern, right? It's like a program that's being programmed. The mind's being programmed. Parents, school, government, media, whatever, insert whatever it is, but it's been programmed. And as you become more and more aware, you start seeing those programs. So then it's kind of like, all right, well, uninstall that one, uninstall that one, uninstall that one. So you start uninstalling these programs, these beliefs, these ideologies, these concepts, these dogmas, all these things. You start uninstalling that. And depending on how open you are and how much already of those programs you've already uninstalled, well, you might be ready for the reformat. There's also the reformat button. The reformat, just like the computer, when you reformat the drive, it wipes everything clean, and then it just goes back to its, what would that just be? Like I don't know. I'm not great with computers. Just the clean operating system, right? With nothing on it, right? There's also that possibility. And that's a direct experience with the ultimate truth. We'll do that. Won't do it every time. I mean, I don't know, depending on how, like I said, it requires surrendering. Because a lot of times who you think you are is nothing but a program. And that's a tough pill to swallow. But there needs to be that awareness that's so high, so developed, so strong that it can see clearly through that program, to see that program as like an illusion, an appearance, something that comes and goes. And what's seeing that program come and go, the I, the me, the mind, it's there, but sometimes it's not there. The body's there, sometimes it's not there. The mind is there, but sometimes it's not there. Both things are a collection of food and a collection of thoughts. And I refer to myself as when I refer to the mind, it's my mind, it's my body. How can I be the body and the mind? How can that be what I truly am when I'm always referring to it as my body and my mind? It's my car, but I don't confuse myself with the car. I don't drive my car and say, this is my car. And then someone hits my car in the parking lot, dings the door, and then I go, ow, that hurt me. Thinking that they hurt me, they hit me, right? But that's when that identification is so strong, then that's what we believe ourselves to be. The body, mind, or the self-image of ourself. I'm a good person, or our role that we're playing. I'm a mother, I'm a father. Yeah, like that's the role that you're playing. I am a father. The father is the role. So I'm not the father. The father is a role. But who's the I? I am Mitch. Mitch is a label. It's a name. I'm not Mitch. I'm not the label, right? The label, if you slap the label, hi, my name is Mitch. I don't say I'm Mitch and point to the label. Who's the I? The I that you refer to yourself as always, who is that? Better question is actually, what is that? What is that? That's a better question. Because we've been so hypnotized by our own mind. This who. We've created a concept, and it's very much a person that we're thinking of. Who am I? And we start thinking, we create this self-image. I'm a good mother who's smart and kind and has 3 kids. Yeah, but that's not you. Those are smart, kind. Those are qualities. Having 3 kids. Those are kids that have come out of the body. That's your family. That's not who you are. It can't be you. It's your family. Smart and kind, that's nice, but those are qualities. Mother is a role. Who's the I? What is the I? What is the I that you are referring to? Because we create this kind of 2 things. I am a mother. Then you're saying you're the mother. I am a mother. Those are 2 things. There's the I and there's the mother. And then this I is identifying with this. But this is a role. But what is playing the role? Right? What's playing the role? As if you were into a movie. Someone says, okay, here, play, play this woman in the movie, Jessica, and your name is Sam. Right? You don't mistake yourself for Jessica. You know yourself as Sam. But it's the same thing as when we get so identified. If you get so identified with Jessica, then you forget that you're Sam. If we get so identified with mother, we forget what we are, which is the pure consciousness, the pure awareness. But you're just going to believe me or think that, oh, this is crazy. But actually look into it. Once you start looking at it, you turn that awareness on the I instead of going outward. I'm a mother who, watch the way it's going. I am a mother who's kind and patient and a good person who has 3 kids and a home and a loving husband. All this stuff that we've attached onto the I, but we haven't questioned what is the I. This stuff is obvious. It can't be you. The kids, it can't be you. The husband, can't be you. What else we said? The kind, patient, can't be you. Those are qualities. Though everything is, all those things change. But that I has not changed. What is that I? What is that I? That I that you refer yourself as. And that's what self-inquiry does. It turns awareness back on itself, because that I, the real, the true you is pure awareness. But instead of getting hypnotized and going out that way, it turns itself back on itself to look at that source. Where's that I coming from? That sense of I, where does it rise from? Where's the source of I? So then you go back to the source. And you discover what you actually are. You discover the truth of what you actually are. So I forget now what this video is actually talking about. We've gone off on a big tangent here. But let's leave it at that, because I really forget what this video started off as. That's the thing, is with that self-inquiry. It's so profound. It's so profound, and most people don't want anything to do with it. They don't want anything to do with it. It's this thing that we get so lost outwardly that it's the one thing that we haven't questioned. It's the one thing that we haven't questioned. We just add everything to it. I am this. I have this. All these possessions. We just accumulate more and more. There's more words that we just attach onto this I. There's more roles that we attach onto the I. There's more identities that we attach onto the I. There's more possessions that we accumulate for the I. And that becomes our sense of self, is all this stuff out. Here's the I. We get identified with all this stuff. Yeah, I got 2 homes, got a cottage, got a nice job, family, 3 kids, husband, right? I'm a good person. Here's my religion. Here's my political side. Here's my favorite songs. All these things, they're all changing. They're always changing. They come and go. But this I, that I does not come and go. That I is the constant. But we never question what that I is. And that I gets mixed up in all this stuff that it takes itself to be the body-mind or the self-image. And it's the one thing that puts an end to basically all the other questions. Experiencing that I. Experiencing the truth of what you actually are. Experiencing it, not believing. Not trying to believe someone and follow someone. It's just experience. Experience what you are for yourself. And that's where the self-inquiry just turns that awareness back on itself. And it separates. It's like it separates. That's not me. That's not me. It's like you're sorting yourself out. Kind of like almost like a mixture in a jar, right? It's like salad dressing or something. There's oil and vinegar salad dressing. And when it's shaken, it's all emulsified and together and it looks like this. But it's like it needs to be separated if you just let that settle, right? Just let it sit in stillness. Then in stillness, it starts to separate. And that's what basically is happening in those transmissions, is there's a transmission of the stillness. And it's very clear what's you and what's not you. Because there's like a settling. The mind, activity, it settles in the stillness. And when it's still, then it's really easy. It's easy to see that clarity, that awareness is so bright. And it's very clear to see what's you and what's not you. Everything is changing. Everything is coming and going. And you are the background awareness that's ever present, that then can see easily everything that's coming and going. And because it's aware of everything that's coming and going, that's obviously not you. And it can see that when there's no thoughts, how can you be the thought? Right? Even when you listen to this language, who do you think you are? Who you think you are is nothing other than a thought. So in these long stretches of silence where there's no thoughts, and you find out you are existing still, then it becomes very obvious. You're able to see that. When you start seeing that everything is coming and going, but your entire life, you've always had this kind of sense of I. Your job changed, your girlfriend, boyfriend changed, your body's changing, your mind's changing, your emotions are changing. Everything is changing. But there's one thing that hasn't changed. There's one thing that's been permanent, that's been here and now. What you can say is your entire life. It's been here and now, your entire life. What has been here and now? That I. That I. But that I, you usually identify it with the body and the mind. But like I said, there's so many times in your life where that body, there's no awareness of the body. The body comes into your awareness and it leaves your awareness. In deep sleep, you're not aware of your body. Even in the dream state, you're not aware of your body. In the dream state, you're aware of your mind, having the dream, projecting the dream. But in deep sleep, there's no mind, there's no body. And there's the awareness of no thing, nothing. Just that, what you would maybe describe as blankness. And that blankness, that emptiness, that void, that emptiness. Don't you enjoy your sleep? What do you say usually? Oh, that's such a peaceful sleep. How do you know you had a peaceful sleep? There's obviously some awareness there. The awareness is still there. In deep sleep, for you to awaken, right? Someone says, how did you sleep last night? Oh, slept so good. Were you aware of your body? No. Were you aware of your mind? No. But I slept so good. See? How do you know? There's an awareness there. It's still there. It's still there. So when we talk about the states of consciousness, there's the waking state. Just very simplified. There's the waking state, like right now, right? There's when we're awake, right? Then there's the dream state, right? That first little bit of sleep where there's a lot of dreams for most people. The mind's projection, a lot of times it projects a lot of desires that are unfulfilled throughout the day and crazy fantasies and dreams and stuff happening, right? And then there's the deep sleep state. And those are the three states that most people experience. But there's a fourth, and it's not really a state because it's the background that permeates all these states. Because without that background awareness, I should show you on this side, without that background awareness, how would you know that this state starts and this state stops? How would you know that there's the waking? I'm awake. I'm falling asleep. Oh, there's a dream. Oh, there's no dream. Oh, I'm back up awaking now. For that to be noticed, the start and stop of states, there would need to be something that permeates all those states. That's something that's in the background that's aware of it. Otherwise, how would you know when the waking state starts and the waking state stops? How would you know when the dream state starts and when it stops? Someone says, did you have any dreams last night? Oh, I had a lot of dreams. How do you know you had a lot of dreams? Because there's an awareness of the dream. When you were dreaming, was there an awareness of the body laying in the bed? No. So then you start seeing that the body that you think you are is coming and going. Sometimes it's there during the waking, but not there during the dream. And it's not there during the deep sleep. And during the deep sleep, the body and the mind isn't there. And ironically, in meditation, it's very similar to that deep sleep, where if you go deep enough, the body disappears, the mind disappears, and there's now that same feeling of perfect happiness and peace. So that's there in the background. So it makes more sense to see that the body is coming and going, the mind is coming and going, but that background awareness is always there. So how can the body and the mind be fundamental? The awareness would actually be fundamental, meaning the awareness is the basis of everything. It's the reality of everything. It allows the waking state. It allows the dream state. It allows the deep sleep state. Without that awareness that gives reality to those three other states, how would you know about those three states? How would you be able to be aware of those three states coming and going? And even those states are coming and going. So then you can see that the only thing that's not coming and going is the awareness. And in deep meditation, that becomes direct experience. With the transmission, with a guided meditation, with the transmission that's happening here, and through self-inquiry, that awareness starts seeing that these states are coming and going. The body is coming and going. The names and the forms are coming and going. And then it becomes aware of itself, formless, infinite, ever-present, empty, limitless, timeless awareness. Just some names that I threw out there, but you discover that through direct experience yourself. And that's how powerful. But if we never question the I, then we never turn it back on itself. If our attention is so outward, right? The job, the family, the kids, all that stuff. I'm not saying that stuff don't do any of that stuff. I'm just saying that if the attention is always out there and it's never put back, right? The journey inward is actually the only journey, right? So it's a journey inward to the source of what you are. So now I really forget what we were talking about at the start of the video, so I might just need to change the name of it. But good conversation. If you're somewhat interested in this, then you can feel free to check out some of the guided meditations, the guided self-inquiries, to go through the practice yourself, to have the experience yourself, right? If there's a desire, if there's a longing to know your true self, what you actually are, your divine nature, different names for the same thing, to know yourself as awareness, to know yourself as timeless beingness, whatever it is, a lot of different names. But the name it's not the thing. The name is pointing to something that's nameless, formless, invisible. Right? We just give it names: spirit, God, source, awareness, beingness, presence, a bunch of different names. But you can experience that for yourself. And whenever you experience something for yourself, I'm not asking you to believe in anything. I don't want you to believe in anything. It's beyond belief. What you are is beyond belief. What you are is aware of all the beliefs that are arising in you. So hopefully that has somewhat maybe piqued your interest and you want to see for yourself. You want to experience it for yourself. So it's an open invitation. So check out some of the videos on the stuff that we've just mentioned here. Allow yourself to get a nice relaxed state, stay open, and you may very well discover what you actually are, which is the most profound experience a human being can ever have.